Sources say investigators followed a disturbing trail, including blood evidence reportedly found in Nick's hotel room.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear. Thoughts build up until I can't feel. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Where did Nick Reiner spend the night if he murdered his parents in not only their home, but his home as well? Because we know he wasn't home when his sister Romy, who lived across the road, came over. So where was he? Well, Nick Reiner checked into a Santa Monica hotel Sunday morning, where authorities reportedly said he left a trail of blood after arriving around 4 a.m. If you don't know that part of California, Santa Monica, which is along the coast, it is right beside Brentwood. There was blood in Nick Reiner's Southern California hotel room the night his parents were killed. That is according to TMZ, and repeated in an article by the New York Daily News. Hotel staffers later found the room shower full of blood. I think this alone demonstrates that Nick wasn't sober when he committed the crimes. He didn't even come close to covering his tracks. Why? Because I think he was so out of it. And eyewitnesses have said that Nick, who has a history of substance abuse, appeared tweaked out Saturday when he arrived at the hotel. I think that is a typo. I think they mean Sunday. Didn't he arrive Sunday morning at 4 a.m.? And I think that's what they mean, that he appeared tweaked out when he arrived at the hotel. That is also a heck of a time to check into a hotel when the party was at Conan O'Brien's, which is just down the road from Reiner's home. And also, something tells me that he went home with his parents before going to that hotel. According to the New York Daily News, he and his father had earlier been involved in an apparent verbal confrontation at a party hosted by comedian Conan O'Brien, but this hasn't been confirmed by police. Now, that is another thing that is crazy about this case, is the number of witnesses that saw this take place, and then you have the murders taking place anyway.
What did you think was going to happen?
TMZ also reported that Nick never formally checked out of the hotel, and he was tracked down by authorities roughly 20 miles away near downtown LA. Every now and then when we do see murders like this, crazy cases that can be solved almost before they happen, you've got to wonder what is going on in the mind of the perpetrator. The Chris Watts case is really such an example, and we end up asking the same question. You moron!
What did you think was going to happen?
And you know what the answer is, right? The person isn't thinking, right? How did he think he was going to get away with this? Well, he's not thinking. He's operating on something that is sort of mindless. And that only happens when you're either intoxicated by a person, like in love with them or in lust with them, or if you're intoxicated with substances and feelings and sensations as well. And I think the answer is that these perpetrators, just in general, not just in terms of the committing of this crime, they are living in a dream world, and the crime then becomes mixed up with that. Does that make sense? The crime is essentially the most authentic act that this person commits, and it's this act that basically breaks through reality. It's a reality check for them, but it's also a reality check for everyone else as well. And what Nick Reiner is going to find out is that, you know, fantasies and feelings and the high of being on a drug can pass, but reality persists. And this reality, the reality of what he has done, the reality of his parents' death, that is not going to go away. And that reality check is not going to sort of subside. That is going to be the epitaph over his life and over their lives till the end of time. And you might look at that and scoff, but it's a lesson to all of us not to live in a dream world and not to allow this sort of state of unreality to take us over and to actually allow us to take certain actions that don't make any sense. And this is why critical thinking is so important. In any event, I'm not going to take it further than that. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.